It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, good day and welcome to the program. It is County-Wide. I'm Red Miller, and we're happy to welcome into studio a first-time guest on County-Wide with the Eco Farm in Cottonwood. Jill Thompson is here. Jill is a co-farm manager, amongst many other things, I'll bet.
That's correct. Thank you so much, Brad.
So far, got it correct. All right. Well, now this is exciting, and Eco Farm, I can see a piece of your work because it's kind of on my way back and forth, and I know there's some things happening. Just a casual observer, we'll get that. But let's start kind of sort of at the beginning, because you're a little bit newer. 2016 is kind of new in our historic kind of communities here. So talk to me just, if you would, about the Eco Farm in Cottonwood, where the idea germinated. See what I did there?
I like that.
All right.
Yep.
How you planted the seeds for this project.
There's always nature puns.
How did it come together?
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for the opportunity. We actually, the Eco Farm, are under the umbrella of Earth Citizens Organization.
Okay.
So we're a project. And as you mentioned, since 2016, we have made the farm available for the community to come on and learn about sustainable growing. It's important that people understand, getting back to the earth, how to grow their own foods, especially in this climate. In the desert can be very challenging. So we do that. And we're also very focused on education. So our volunteers, which come twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as during our events, bring people onto the farm to learn about actually growing, where they can plant, help us with our regenerative focus and all things sustainable.
And there's just something about getting your hands in the soil.
There is.
It's maybe one of the most human kind of things that there is. It's really kind of where we came from and where we're going to kind of end up. But isn't there? It's just good for the spirit, good for the mind, good for the body. Totally.
And that really reminds me that, several of our volunteers who've had some, tragedies in the past or are moving on to a new phase in their life have mentioned how being on the farm, being out in nature, getting their hands in the soil has really helped their mental health.
Oh, sure.
And it's just a place that people can go and, be outdoors and feel healthy and be active.
The healing powers of hard work can't be underestimated.
Exactly. So true.
Now, you'd mentioned volunteer days. Is there employees full time? How do you how big of an operation is it?
Great question. Very small operation. 2 full-timers and a part-timer. And then we coordinate the volunteers. So the volunteers come in and we have specific projects that we're working on. We do donate food to the community through the Arizona Food Bank Network and Purchase Local Arizona. They help us from, clearing out and prepping the garden plots to actually planting and weeding and harvesting the food. And so we rely on our volunteers being a small, staffed organization. Right.
And dedicated, from whatever the background. We find that we talk to an awful lot of nonprofits on this program, and I find that time after time. And well, as you suggested, there are some volunteers who have very personal stories, and that's why they've become a part of it to get back to whatever troubles perhaps they've got as well. But we find that there's always, a lot of times those kind of personal connections to the past or to whatever it may be to kind of help and get into that. And I know that you have the same kind of team that comes out and does what they do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. About how many volunteers, and do you need more?
We definitely need more, and we just are so grateful to have those that we do have coming to the farm. We have a cohort of volunteers that probably run from 15 to 20.
Okay.
Most of those are project event volunteers. So we have about, an average of 4 to 5 people that come on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes it can be one person, sometimes it can be 6, but I would say generally there's about 4 to 5 regulars, some coming one day, some coming both. So that's a small group of people doing a lot of heavy work.
Right.
And we also cater our volunteer projects to where people are at physically, and whether some people have more heat tolerance than others in the winter. Some people prefer gathering eggs and getting them ready, which is fun, especially for kids. And then also, if someone's not used to the physical work, we do have other types of physical work that'll give people exercise but not be so taxing.
Okay.
And then folks who really want a good workout and want to get their hands in the dirt and really work hard, it is a great physical workout, and it's fun to be out on the farm.
You mentioned at the top, sustainability is really a main driver of what you do. That's a word we hear an awful lot. I'm just curious, from a grower's standpoint, what you mean by that and why it's so important to the eco-farm.
Great question. So we are not certified organic, but we have organic practices. We are actually working with some partners now, the Friends of the Verde River, and also the Nature Conservancy, and some other groups who are supporting us to help us with water conservation because we're on the ditch.
Right.
So they're guiding us to improve our irrigation. We are looking to apply for some grants for that, but really welcome that help. So we try to conserve our water. We use the water from the river rather than, the well water. We practice no-tilling, which is more work, but great for the environment. So we only till when we have to, and that's, physically turning the soil mechanically. One thing that we did recently this year that worked out really well for us was partnering with Tractor Supply. We actually went and got some pallet cardboard and brought it out to our farm, and we're using that. We used it in the fall to cover the soil. We put straw underneath, and so it naturally decomposes, creates a really nice environment for worms, and it also doesn't disturb the organisms in the soil like tilling.
Right.
So we had, and it beds down the weeds as well. So it really worked out well for us this year. So we try to do projects that we can. We talk to master gardeners, see if they have some advice. Cooperative Extension through the University of Arizona has been great there, offering some support. So we also plant trees.
Sure.
So that's another benefit, being near the river, that we can plant more trees and benefit from the trees absorbing the carbon dioxide, producing oxygen, helping with erosion, providing shade. So we do as much as we can with the limited staff that we have. It's just
kind of funny the way you kind of illustrated all of that here in just the last couple of minutes. You think about, well, what does a bed of straw have to do with the trees and the cottonwoods growing along the Verde River? And you just explained it. It just really is this cycle, this circle.
It really is.
And you really kind of see it with a hands-on experience of the Eco Farm here in Cottonwood. I want to ask you, we need to take a break, so we'll do that. And then when we come back, I want to ask you, the food that's grown, where does it go? And then there's something pretty kind of exciting that's coming up here, or in the process maybe already. We'll talk more with Jill Thompson, Eco Farm in Cottonwood. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide. We're back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley. And your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Spring is here, and it's the perfect time for a fresh start. Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, is ready to help you simplify and protect what matters most: your home, your car, your life, and your future. Jonna offers competitive pricing with a relationship-first approach that puts you at the center of every decision. Call Jonna Randall Murdoch today at 928-649-8686, located on Villa Drive in Cottonwood. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Welcome back to the program. Again, Jill Thompson is here. Cottonwood Eco Farm, ECO, standing for Earth Citizens Organization. You mentioned you're kind of an umbrella.
Yes.
Under that. That's the bigger organization, a national 501c3 nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where does the food go? You grow all of this good, yummy stuff. Where does it end up?
So we actually donate about 90%
Wow.
of what we grow.
Okay.
We have, and I'll quickly say that we have a market garden with 20 100-foot rows, another garden that's a little smaller than that, 4,500 square foot greenhouse, an orchard in the back of the farm. That's a lot of food. And so we actually donated about $20,000 through the Arizona Food Bank last year. We've been contracted out through Purchase Local Arizona and the Friends of the Farm, which is under that food bank network this year, and that's increased to $30,000.
Okay.
We do also sell food Tuesdays and Thursdays. We open our gates to the community, and we sell our produce, which is, we call organic, not certified, but it's grown naturally, no pesticides or fertilizers. Sell that directly to the community, along with our Nest Run chicken eggs. And Nest Run is a certain category that we fit under through the Department of Agriculture. And they're unwashed chicken eggs,
Okay.
and we sell them directly to the community. And they look like Easter eggs. They're
Sure.
really pretty,
Yeah.
multicolored. We have about 40 chickens now.
Okay.
So all of that goes either to the community who wants to come in, experience the farm, and buy the produce, or we really feel proud about those donations that we give back to the community.
There's a lot of it's still kind of coming. There's a lot of cuts, particularly at the federal level. I don't know about state and where that comes from. I don't want to get too deep into that because that's a show. But there's an awful lot of talk about food banks. I mean, I look locally and we work with nonprofits. We've been hearing from them that they're very concerned about cuts and some of those resources. It seems like that's going to impact you as well. Are you kind of prepared for that, or how do you address these kind of perhaps coming things?
So we are preparing.
Yeah.
It is sad that this is happening because we do have children and families who, are barely getting by, who go to the food banks. And then we offer, also microgreens and vegetables and things that get those great nutrients into kids' systems and families and help their mental health.
Yeah.
As well.
Right.
But in terms of preparing, we're trying to figure out ways that we can continue to do this through donor support,
Right.
And also through events, bringing people onto the farm, pick your own events, trying to keep things priced reasonably, and then also selling to the community. In the past, we haven't typically had the farm open like we do this year, where we invite people in and they actually shop. So all those things we're hoping will help us to continue to be able to provide this food to the community.
It sounds like those are all mechanisms that are kind of already in place.
Yes,
And you
yes.
can adapt.
Exactly.
So we hope that that continues and you're not too hampered from wherever that kind of may come from. Okay, chickens. Mm-hmm. You talk about eggs, that means chickens.
Chickens.
So about 40, you said?
Yes.
Is that a flock?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just
It's a
humor
flock.
me here. I know
Yes.
nothing from pigs. Pigs I can talk. Chickens, not so much. So is that going to be just kind of growing naturally within their small population? Is that an optimum number for the farm of your size, or?
So right now, our nest run, which is that we sell under 750 dozen a year.
Okay.
We have been expanding our flock so that we could at least maximize that number. And we do raise chickens. We actually have a local source where we get them as chicks. And then we raise them, and when they're ready, we introduce them to the flock. It's a free-range flock located in our orchard, which is very large for chickens, fenced in, and they're helping regenerate the soil.
Yeah, doing their thing.
In the orchard.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have just raised and added to our guinea hen flock, which is they also help as a warning for coyotes and other predators by squawking. They alarm our dog, our farm dog Odin.
Every farm's got to have a good dog.
Chickens,
yes.
And so they go try to get to safety as much as they can.
Now, along that line, before we kind of started the program, Home Depot has stepped up. Talk to me about that project.
So Home Depot has generously awarded us a grant so that we can refurbish a shelter that we have that's all opened up, where we have some goats that are free-range goats out in that pasture. And they're actually helping us to enclose that so that we can adopt through the Bureau of Land Management some burros.
Okay.
And bring some burros onto the farm who act also as farm guardians and help regenerate the soil.
Okay.
Guardians.
Burros. Okay. See, one more thing I didn't know.
Their noise helps to scare off coyotes that are in close proximity, and
so they'll just kind of graze and roam in the chicken area.
Actually, no, it's more at the front of the farm where we have a pasture and a shelter. And so it's fenced in, but a large fenced in area where they will stay, and then they'll have the shelter, which Home Depot is helping us with.
Okay, I get it. I follow. All right, so that's in the process. That's
in the process.
That's exciting.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So there is expansion. You're kind of what's the acreage? How big a operation, and can you expand from there, or are you kind of landlocked with your neighbors and whatnot?
Great question. So we have 12 acres on the farm. Part of that is actually in a little bit of the flood zone from the river, so we have to be careful what we do there. But we are looking at partnerships where we can maybe plant something that does really well in that kind of an environment.
Right.
So that would be expansion. And then we also are trying to expand our numbers, obviously, get more of a volunteer base. And we're talking to other partners that may be able to help in the future with some of the land that, I believe might be for sale in that area. And, whether we might be able to help manage that and keep it sustainable. Nothing that's not concrete, but we're kind of opening up our eyes and seeing, well, how can we work with local partners, local nonprofits, and kind of maximize where we are and help us fulfill our mission, really.
Sure. Well, it sounds like since 2016, when this really kind of started to come together, that each year there have been those kinds of successes. I know there can be little setbacks and things like that, but it sounds like it's grown and is kind of on a pace for, I would think, you and your staff are pretty happy about.
Very happy. And
Sounds
I think
like it.
The other piece to that is that we're positioning ourselves to be a regenerative model farm, so that someone who maybe comes in and learns through one of our educational programs or works as a volunteer, or our interns who are here from this summer from Arizona, Northern Arizona University, can actually maybe take this model and into at another place and create their own eco farm, which is expansion.
That's great. That's good stuff. All right. We need to take a final break. When we come back, we'll kind of wrap it up, but I do want to let anybody listening find out how you can perhaps volunteer, provide resources through donations, or how you can find out about when those eggs and other yummies might be on sale. So we'll do that. Some good information yet to come from Jill Thompson, Eco Farm in Cottonwood. We're back to Countywide right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology, factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Spring is here, and it's the perfect time for a fresh start. Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, is ready to help you simplify and protect what matters most: your home, your car, your life, and your future. Jonna offers competitive pricing with a relationship-first approach that puts you at the center of every decision. Call Jonna Randall Murdoch today at 928-649-8686, located on Villa Drive in Cottonwood. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
We come back to wrap it up. Jill Thompson, Eco Farm in Cottonwood. Jill's the co-farm manager there. Eco meaning Earth Citizens Organization. And if you want to be a part of this, it sounds like there's plenty of volunteers that find a lot of fulfillment working with the land and working with the animals and doing that farm kind of life. But you can always use more.
Yes.
If folks want to volunteer or maybe pledge resources. I know money can always help with nonprofit organizations. How can they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Definitely. Thank you so much for that. So our website, goecofarm.org, has most of that information, including donor support.
Website.
So we welcome that kind of support. It really helps the community, those children and families that I mentioned. We also have our main phone number, which is 928-451-4853.
Okay.
Which is 928-451-4853.
Excellent.
And in addition to that, our door is open on Tuesdays and Thursdays. In the summer, we open earlier at 8, but we're open generally until, in the summer, 11:30 or 12. And then in the fall, we have regular hours from 9 to 12 when people can just stop by. We love for people to just, if they're curious, come by the farm and we'll walk around. If we have time, we'll give you a tour.
Sure.
And then we have events, which we post on our website as well.
Outstanding. All right. Terrific. Well, this is great. I can't wait to get the guard burros doing their thing. That's going to be one more fun element. And Home Depot part of that with the Eco Farm in Cottonwood. All that great information. The show, of course, be posted on our YouTube page here in another week or so, shortly after the radio broadcast. And again, want to remind you, if you've got a guest or a topic idea, let us know at our email, and that's kvrd@myradioplace.com. Again, today, Jill Thompson, Eco Farm in Cottonwood. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.